I want to go to heaven in a wrestling ring. And I'm going to park that ring just beyond the moon, halfway to the stars. And we're going to have a universal battle royal that goes on for eternity. In heaven, remember that it's a great place to be, and I'm going to be out front just as soon as this show is over, and I'm going to be peddling tickets to every one of you. And I want to thank you so much. Adios. We love you guys. We love you.
Hello and welcome to OSW Review, the old school wrestling video podcast. Filmed in glorious Grubble Vision and encoded with blast processing, we chronologically critique wrestling storylines pay-per-view by pay-per-view. This is your boy, your very own CM Punk, the voice of the voiceless Jay Hunter. Joined as ever with the home of the homeless, V1.
Is that correct?
And the chaps of the chapless, OC. It is AEW All Out Chicago, and it's coming up right now.
The advantage here.
Our lovely new T-sharts are available now. Spider-Bret and Lex Yoko, and rep our beautiful OSW Geansai made from super soft acrylic wool. Links in the description. But quick bit of business for you, OC. I think you'll enjoy the Pop Culture Rewind.
Yeah.
Lovely. For the week ending September 3rd, 2023.
Generic 90s grunge song. Everyone in Flanders. Generic 90s grunge song. Something from Seattle.
Top of the Irish charts.
Oh my god. Taylor Swift.
I was actually going to say Tay-Tay as well. You know what? I will say Selena Gomez.
Paint the Town Red by Doja Cat.
The old
Cat. Little red. It's not blue. I am so
You could be singing anything and I would believe it.
My happiness is all of your misery. I put good dick all in my kidneys.
The latest Simpsons episode is the
Oh Jesus.
season 34 season finale. Like season 35 doesn't start till October.
Oh, so you're telling me that if this show was a week later, we wouldn't have to listen to it? Oh no, you would just pick that one
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
it's
wouldn't
the
you?
same
Okay.
order. Yeah,
It's the latest, not that
Yes.
week. Okay.
Go for it.
Homer crashes the car and flies through the windshield,
Yeah.
and his life flashes before his eyes. It's pleasant. A little scant on jokes.
Oh.
We get the return of the happy little elves. Yeah. The animation is nice in it. Lizzo was at it. Yeah. Super cuts on moments I like. Will that be?
Moment, just no jokes, just
It was pleasant, you know, positive.
He just said this twice. It was pleasant.
Many feelings, all of them anger. Let's drive them away. Rage belongs on the road.
Yeah, this is hell. Screens everywhere.
Excuse me, I have to go yell something into your washer-dryer.
As a positive, the last few seasons of The Simpsons, they at least have a point or moral to the story. It's not funny, but they have something to say. This episode's theme that's explored is fathers don't think their daughter's partner is good enough for them. Just as Marge's dad doesn't approve of Homer, he envisions Lisa's partner, a board game creator, isn't good enough for her. Which is solid.
was it like wrapping yourself in a nice duvet?
Yes, but slightly smothered. Claustrophobic, yes.
Get me out, like.
All them problems you think you solved yourself? That was Marge, bitch!
In the cinema, wow, Barbenheimer. V1, you saw Barbie, didn't you?
I did see Barbie, yes. I really enjoyed it. It's very funny. sometimes it's a bit ham-fisted with its girl power messaging and how men are terrible, but Ryan Gosling is fucking brilliant in it. He smashes it over.
And your favourite part of the film?
So, in Barbie Land, women rule everything. Every woman is called Barbie, I think, and every man is called Ken, and Ken is just there to love Barbie. That's his only reason for being. And so then, for plot reasons, Barbie and Ken go to the real world, and on his first time there, he kind of looks around and he sees like men are cops and men are builders and men are judges and men are on posters, and he's like, oh my god. And so he walks up to someone and he's like, what's going on with all the men doing stuff? And she was like, oh, it's like the patriarchy. And he's like, this patriarchy is amazing. I need more of it.
There you are.
Oh no.
That went terrible. I need to find somewhere where I can start patriarchy fresh.
And Oppenheimer is also in the cinema. Cillian Murphy, he's great in it. It's weird, like Chris Nolan. Him and Tarantino, probably the only two lads to get you into the cinema based on the director's name.
Scorsese, maybe?
McG.
What does he do?
Terminator Salvation. Charlie's Angels. Full Throttle.
Okay,
trifecta. My name is McG. That's not even a name.
It sounds like a terrible burger that you'd order.
Yeah, Oppenheimer, it's very long. I went to the cinema in England because I was like, oh, I should go on IMAX. And it is the world's smallest IMAX. And I'm in, if you will. And it was...
I bet you that's funnier than any joke in the most recent Simpsons episode.
They hoard out the IMAX name. You know, the audio of it is very, very loud. So consider bringing earplugs to it because it just gets very... Especially, you know, we got to drop the bomb. And it's emotional turmoil and coming to terms with it. What's going to happen? Is the bomb going to work? It's very, very loud. Turn that down a bit.
Yeah.
Instead of IMAX gives you beautiful vistas, they just zoom in on Cillian Murphy's face, and his acting is incredible, and he's incredible, so that's pretty cool. It is 3 hours of a court drama, and you figure out the whole bit about his backstory and his life, and for some reason, let's hear about him philandering with Florence Pugh, which is not necessary, but she does get them out, so, you know, well done to her. So, it wasn't needed. It was a cool bit where his wife hears about it, and then she imagines Florence Pugh riding him in the court, whatever room that they're in. I thought that was great, like the smouldering hatred that you get. So that was pretty good. But, yeah, 3 hours. It's a bit long. You could have chopped that out. I could have TNA edited that down.
Yeah.
I'll give him a few notes. See how he likes it.
Yeah, edit in a few laughs here and there, you know.
Yeah. But, you know, it's fine. It's boring. It's a bit of a watch once, and then you're done kind of like Tenet. So, anyway. In the video game world, we're still currently working our way through WrestleQuest.
WrestleQuest, yeah. I'm like 20 hours in, really, really enjoying my time with it. I'm not the biggest player of turn-based role-playing games.
Mostly South Park.
It's like 2 South Park games, 1 Persona, and 1 Earthbound, and now this. And yeah, I really, really like it. Cool looking world, lots of wrestling Easter eggs and references and things that wrestling fans will go, hey, that's cool. And they've worked in a kayfabe. So the wrestling matches are turn-based, and you have to beat these people and pin them. But to maximize your leveling and XP gains, you also have to work in your spots.
As in hit your finish, but then purposely miss the prompt to pin correctly.
Yeah.
And so your opponent can kick out and the crowd go crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool. Hopefully we'll revisit that down the line. Yeah, tap the nose there.
Tap the nose.
And I love how much this game loves Macho Man Randy Savage. Like, I'm easily pleased, but I was like, oh my god, yes, like Muchacho Man. He sleeps underneath a Macho Man poster.
Yeah. Ooh, see.
Get in. Not OC.
No.
Oh, also, we're in WrestleQuest.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what he meant by tap the nose.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't. I just forgot that.
Yeah.
We're in so many things.
Yeah.
Two things. I'm just kidding, obviously. Thank you so much, Megacat Studios. And let's start the show.
Switch.
Yes.
Netflix.
Steam
PC,
Deck.
which I've already said. And of course, they're...
Wow! Folks, WrestleQuest.
AEW All Out Chicago, and just here we go. Come on, let's start the show with the graphics. Oh man, Punk only got fired the day beforehand. They're not changing the graphics. You can see the Punk red stars. Oh, the 4 stars on the apron ring, the security banners. It's all around. Oh my god. And it's a fun sign. TK just cured cancer.
I popped so big to that one.
Oh, by the way, we're going to talk about Punk as the main event of this pay-per-view. So you get all the shka in the main event after he finished pay-per-view. But Punk was fired, and so he's not on the show. Angry Punk couldn't keep a lid on it until after All Out. Just do this show, and then you could do that. Like, he screwed over himself, the company, most importantly, the fans. The hometown hero gone in a blaze of sour grapes.
Sour grapes on a pole match.
Sour grapes on a pole.
But he didn't even have a match on the card. Well,
he was going to take on Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
What a way to start off what will be a huge night here in Chicago. There is a host of wrestlers around the ring already.
It's time for the Mountain Dew Warm Bitter Steak and Kidney Pie Butterfly Burger Pre-Show. Okay, match number 1, 20-man over-budget charity battle royal. What charity? You'll find out later. Put 50 grand to the winner's choice. 20 men featuring V1's boy, Daddy Magic, my boy, Captain Jack Swagger, and OC's boy, Trent Beretta.
We're well represented.
We are boys everywhere.
Got 5 spots for you. Tony Nese, Simon Deans it, wanting everyone to get in for a bit of fitness training, and a couple of lads gang up on him and chuck him out. Commander, who's, man, he'd stop being on the show. He was on twice last week. Scales 2 ropes and does a shooting star press to the outside. I was like, okay, so he went from the same turnbuckle, 1 rope to the other rope. What do you think? Does that count as entering the ring?
If that was his opening spot from outside the ring, then I would say no.
Okay, good, because the referees agree. They say it's grand.
I love Commander, by the way. I think he's incredible, and he's a big jobber.
Yeah. Like, his gimmick of being able to run the ropes unlike anybody else is incredible, but he doesn't have the basics of wrestling down yet. It's like, I'm just going to go in, I'm just going to spring around on the ropes.
That's great.
Yeah. Fuck Steve, I'll be your favourite.
What do you like about Commander?
Because he can walk on the ropes and do a moonsault.
Excellent. That's good for him.
And the Mogul Embassy.
Commander has been eliminated.
Garcia and the former Perfect 10 have a 10 groin pump mean face standoff. It's like 10, it's just not bad. They do it twice though. After he gets eliminated, Garcia pumps his way backstage.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's all he has, but it's really good.
It's like, it's a shame because like he's an incredible in-ring professional wrestler. He's definitely lacking in the kind of non-physicality based stuff, but he's gotten better in the last year, you know?
Dalton Castle's boys help him not get eliminated. They do the same for Angelo Parker, who protests demanding to be put down, and so they just put him down and he's eliminated.
Look at this, Trent was forming a beautiful tandem to eliminate self-preservation there by Andretti, and Trent Beretta now.
Final 4 are Trent Beretta, Toa Leona, Brian Cage, and Hangman Page. Hangman gets shoulder charge, great sell, as Trenty is hoofed out. Buckshot Lariato to Toa, and clothesline him over. Final 2, Hangman head scissors Brian out to the apron with him. They do some back and forth teeter moves, and Hangman hits a broke neck mountain. And eliminate Cage. Nah, they died on its arse. Just like Brokeback Mountain. And eliminate Cage and win 13-15. Low heat multi-man, but it's nice to see Hanger get a win.
Yeah. I will say Hanger was the big name left in the match. Very shocking to hear the Chicago fans chant for him, considering that Hanger and Punk is the kind of beginning of this entire shitstorm that happened, a year and a half ago now? So to me, that means that the Chicago Strong like AEW more than they like their boy. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to Hangman Adam Page winning the $50,000 for a charity of his choice.
Steve, tell me about Swerve.
Swerve?
He actually just went missing for like a week and then came back and cut a scathing promo on
Cowboy, yeah.
Hanger, yeah. Basically, the promo that he cut on Hangman Page is everything that we've said about him. He says that you were great back in like 2019 and 2020. You won the belt. You did nothing with it. You got lazy, gotten fat. And if I had all the chances that you were given because you're mates with the bosses, then I'd be the first ever Black World Champion. And he said,
in AEW,
either fight me or take your cowboy shit and go. And I was like, that was a rocking promo, mate.
Swerve is good.
Yeah.
But then now Hangman is on the pre-show winning a battle royal. Oh, I'd rather not be on the pre-show at all.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That
Match number 2, a 6 women's tag match. Sheeta, wow, Nightingale, and Sky Blue versus Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante with Billy Starks.
Diamante.
Do you like that?
I do. It'd be much better for her.
Fucking none of you wrestled on Dynamite or Collision. Athena throwing tag partner Diamante, that's how it's going, to the Wolves and bailing to kick off. I love that spot, it was great. Diamante, boob, gutbuster, and neckbreaker combo. I like that. Athena hot dogs too long after a running powerbomb, and Willow tags in and runs wild, and a cannonball by Willow and Misty O-Face by a mile. Big pounce by Willow on the outside. A DVD thrust kick combo, code blue, and that seals it. Hometown girl Sky Blue wins it in her big suck up punk Chicago attire.
1, 2, 3. Hey!
Was certainly getting them paid.
Can you just splice in a bit of Willow for every Willow?
Who?
Willow's great, by the way.
Yeah.
She's super likable babyface.
Who?
Willow!
Okay, that's enough. Okay.
I remember when you first showed I was sitting there, you were sitting there, and you were sitting here, and you were like, Steve, have you seen Jeff Hardy's new thing? I was, what? And you showed me, and yes.
World champion now.
Do you know, like, Jeff Hardy, tremendously talented individual, charismatic guy, but he is creative in ways that are not marketable.
Yeah.
Like, killing star aura killing creativity. But anyway.
Hey, his run as TNA champion was brilliant. I stand by that.
We love, we hate, we die, eliminate.
You never know what the deal's with Willow. What if we got that umbrella like a PGA tournament? I digress.
Surprise last week, and I delivered. We delivered. Our good friend, the Hall of Famer, the legendary Jeff Jarrett.
The chosen one.
Match number 3, your main event of the pre-show. A trio's 6-man tag. It's the Acclaimed and Badass Billy Gunn, the champions, with Dennis Rodman versus Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal, with Sanjay Dutt and Karen Jarrett. Set up on Collision beforehand, a solid 22 hours maybe. WCW's Tony Schiavone wheels out Dennis Rodman. WCW's Dennis Rodman. Awake after sleeping on the turnbuckles, he's refreshed. It's like, have you got anyone else from WCW 2000 showing up? Hot dogging, I'm in love.
Once upon a time, these two were stablemates. If there's anybody who knows the worm, it's the last outlaw, Jeff Jarrett.
I'm so happy everyone is loving Jeff Jarrett in AEW. It makes me so happy.
He's
Warms
so much
my heart.
fun, and he's far down the card, and he's not winning belts, and it's just fan fucking service at this point. You know what I mean? Just give me all of the Jarrett. I'm a happy lad.
He should be doing more. He's good enough to be a manager for mid-card talent. Like, he is bottom of the barrel in I love him, but he's bottom of the barrel in AEW.
Yeah, like he's comedy.
Yeah. Jarrett likens his group of cronies to Rodman, saying that Satnam being a basketball player, just like him, Lethal being a champ since day one, just like him, Sanjay striving for world peace, just like him. Even why Karen looks great in a dress, just like him.
Hey-o.
He claimed, let's get in there and set up a 6-man tag for tomorrow.
Against the Acclaim, Daddy Ass, and, well, Dennis Rodman in our corner.
At the arena, Sanjay's got a basketball and there's a hoop right beside him. I was like, please shoot and miss. It would be amazing.
Yeah.
Satnam doesn't attempt to throw the basketball. He does the Vader Baywatch squash instead.
Needed more powder going in his face.
Come on, baby! Wouldn't you love it to see these three as your trios champs?
Max does his rap and it's crap. You're the 2023 oddities. I was mega disappointed. He didn't heel out on Chicago for the night and just start laying into Punk.
Yeah, I have a feeling there was a very strict mandate passed down by the boss man. It's like, let's just get fucking through tonight, lads. Don't rock the boat anymore, please.
Daddy Ass says he wants Aubrey Edwards as his ref, who won in a mixed tag versus Karen in a... What star match did this get?
At least 4.
Okay. Top rope leg drop and scissor me Jarrett strut. It's a bit Ed Leslie-ish.
Strutting and cutting.
Yeah, it didn't get over with the crowd, but I loved it, you know. Really wanted to see the Outlads, Jarrett and Billy Gunn, do a few spots. Like Jeff Jarrett debuted in 1986 at the age of 18. Billy Gunn 3 years later in 89 at the age of 26. But they kind of just knock into each other. You know, if he punches, there's no like moves or sequences, that kind of thing. This match is all quick tags and momentum shifts. Karen Jarrett comes in with a guitar. Aubrey stands her down. Chuck block to Satnam. Rodman comes in, grabs a guitar, doesn't draw a dime. Suck this. Faymaster, Bowen's arrival, Macho mic drop, and the faces retain.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was a match that happened that lasted 6 minutes, and it was just like Aubrey Edwards. She turns around and there's just like debris of an exploded guitar in the ring.
What happened?
Rodman's there with the rest of the guitar in his hand, and there's no DQ. Forget it.
So they bring in Rodman for one episode of Collision, and they put him on the pre-show. They would have paid him the same to be on the pre-show or the main show. Why not put him on the main show?
Kind of buy 2, get 1 free.
Yeah.
Buy 1, get 1 free. 2 for the price of 1 appearance. But then again, I don't know how much Dennis Rodman is charging for an appearance in 2023. You know?
He lives there, yeah.
No, he doesn't.
No, he
Because
doesn't.
he made reference that he hasn't been in Chicago in 20-something years.
So he's paying taxes in some other state.
Yeah,
so
like,
you should get booed then.
I don't say that. Don't admit it.
Brooklyn.
Cucamonga. Yeah, anyway, fun nothing match.
Yeah, this was a rampage match.
Yes. Let's just splicey Max Caster's best rap with Jeff Jarrett. Like, it's his first one, so he just starts whacking out all the TNA references.
Oh,
and
I love
Jarrett is like your opponents, but he's just, I'm in love with this. This is great.
Hey Jeff, your wife better say less. She getting dragged online worse than Skip Bayless. Acclaimed only hit you harder. You gon' take a L and blame it on Dixie Carter. Y'all are antiquated. Y'all messed up like Andrew Tate did. And you can never stop the rain. TNA means total non-stop acclaim.
AEW All Out Chicago, September 3rd, 2023. Labor Day weekend from the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. With 9,826 in attendance and roughly about 100,000 pay-per-views tuned in at home.
What have I got?
Pay-per-view start right into it. It's the Dark Order versus MJF and Cole for their Ring of Honor tag titles. Steve, why is Matthew and Matthew's mate on a pay-per-view?
Because Tony Khan loves battle royals. On Rampage, they had a tag team battle royal to see who would be the number one contender for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. It came down to Trent and Johnny Hungy, Johnny Silver. Trent went over the top, and the Dark Order, those geeks, are in line for a tag team title shot, which is fucking ludicrous.
It is ludicrous, but they also were great at one point. I mean, I'm talking about the last AEW show we did with the match with the Elite. I'm pretty sure they were good at one point.
Silver's a really good wrestler, but they're just not over.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. The Dark Order are lower than jobber level at this point. They're like
Daddy Magic, like?
Yes.
I just want to point out Johnny Hungy had a exquisite purple waistcoat there on Collision before the show. Okay, come on in.
Alex Reynolds had a hand in training me, so here's what I want. Sportsmanship!
Can we do sportsmanship? Sportsmanship. And it's like, you better not do it. He does it.
Yeah, it's so over.
Hungy Pearl Harbor's MJF, who even retreats to the outside, tending to his neck. Dark Order give him a bit of room, to a point, and then Reynolds chair bunt to the neck.
That's Dark Order's plan. Take MJF completely out of the equation.
MJF is out. He goes backstage. Hey, solid chance to take those belts. But commentator Kevin Kelly says they might just do that, sealing their fate as jobbers. Awkward use of the ropes and Cole's on the outside. Sneaky Matthew taking a cheap shot. Dark Lads do a tandem scramble to try steal a win. I like it. Ends in a 2 count.
Tell him to back off. More guts than brains.
Neck-injured MJF staunchly hobbles out to the ring, demanding to be tagged in. Gets it. Runs wild one-handed, and Dark Order are no match. 10 count turnbuckle spot, 9 count punches, and Jay Hunter headbite. Reynolds, you're not getting out of a knob timber spot. He's like, can we go double clothesline? Double clothesline! And that's all she wrote.
The double clothesline connects and scores the win.
Yeah, it was a fun opener. I mean, masterful build to this important match. You know,
a Wembley-esque bit.
Massively disappointed that MJF and Cole were the opening match on the card and it was a pointless jobber match. Good fun, but, you know, do it on fucking Dynamite. That's it. What a waste of talent.
Rampage.
Yeah, even Rampage. It's just a
Ring
waste.
of Honor TV.
Ring of Honor Club.
Yes.
Fun opener.
Same thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah. Zero marquee value. Television match.
He needs to remember that.
Well, coming up next, but not wanting to waste any time, it's Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe instantly comes out for his bout. Max is still on his way down. Oh, sorry, shove him. He does it! Yes! Oh my God! Big heel smirk on him as well. Oh, and of course, this is also like a reference to when Max was in NXT. He was one of Joe's guards, and he kind of walks. He almost gets side to side of him, and then Joe just get back there.
Oh,
pushes him into the wall.
Oh, reference. Has he referenced it yet?
Yep.
Yeah. He does on Collision the next show, you know?
Okay.
You decided to take a 19-year-old kid who was just trying to do his job, and you shoved me into a brick wall and you laughed.
Yeah, marked out hard.
It's great. And like master of social media, MJF just posted out, whatever you do, don't tweet me that GIF. And then you click on and it's just
Yeah.
Joe pushing him.
Yeah,
Like, that is brilliant. That's so clever.
MJF can't be having that. And Pearl Harbor's Joe into a big brawl. Crowd go nuts. Joe, such a perfect choice. If you're not doing Punk anymore, Joe has the most respect. The crowd wanting better for him. He was never world champion. He was Ring of Honor champion and TNA champion. That makes you king of the indies. NXT champion as well. But like, he just wasn't in WWE at the right time to become like a proper world champion. Dude's a badass. Decades in the business. Commands respect. I was like, oh, just seeing this, I can't wait for Joe and MJF to fight.
And I love that during this brawl, like, Max is the world champion. He's the biggest star in AEW now, and he's the most over star. And Joe just grabs him in a headlock. And because Max is selling the neck, I'm like, that is perfect way to end this brawl. And then Max versus Joe in Arthur Ashe.
You know, coming up to now, yes, I'm okay with Joe wrestling MJF for the title on an episode of Dynamite.
Which it is.
Fine. Not on a pay-per-view. And I don't agree with Joe winning the title at all. I think he's fine where he is. He's a good upper mid-carder. He should not be world champion. There's at least 5 or 6 other lads way ahead of him. One of the things I really like about AEW is their world title is special. It doesn't change hands very often. I'd love Joe, but he's way past his best. Don't put the belt on Joe.
Oh, I'd like it. So do it for me.
Okay.
Tony,
okay.
Do it for me.
Okay.
But Joe is defending his Ring of Honor TV belt tonight versus Tin Foil Jocks. Chantel Taylor?
Shane.
Oh, right. Taylor Wilde is.
Oh, it's a good one.
Nigel says, these hospouts don't last long. Yeah, 6:25, but it felt longer. Renewed heat on this bout as, obviously this is a jobber match, as Joe's potential next feud, MJF, but not good interest due to no-name opponent overshadowed by said MJF. Joe headlock from the apron. Taylor puts him over the top rope and draping stunner, very nice. Follows up with a Bret's rope splash. He's a big guy who never does an aerial assault. He hits it! Unbelievable. I popped at the rarity.
Taylor up to the middle. Splash! 310 pounds crashing down. No!
Joe has vicious knees over and over in the middle of the ring. Come here, mate. Kakina clutch. Couple of seconds. Tap.
Taylor's going to tuck his chin. No, doesn't tap.
Don't play with matches, Shane.
I was like, oh man, Joe's such a badass. Like, he was a badass 20 years ago in Ring of Honor and TNA, and still have huge love and respect for him. Amazing. Jobber squash, yeah, thumbs up.
I quite like this, actually. Yeah? I did. And I do not like two big lads hitting each other. And this was the right length. Let's get it done quickly. We're coming up to a match soon enough. Yeah. That was the fucking opposite of that. No, this was fine. I don't know what the point of this match was. If you were just, again, have it on TV, why they
just to give Joe a dominant win, isn't it? But, because he's most likely going to go for the world title.
Thank you. That explains it. But I quite like this Shane Taylor lad. Yeah. I thought, he could move. And both, he's similar to Joe.
He's a good wrestler. Yeah. It's just that they did zero work into getting the fans or him ready for this match. Actually, the cheek of you for having this match on a paid show. Tony, the cheek of you. And then you probably go, well, have you know, on a Honor Club, they actually did have a tournament where Shane Taylor did beat 3 people. And I'm like, yeah, that's great for you and the other 8 people who watch it. But at least give us a fucking 90-second promo video on the Go Home Collision. Put the fella over. Yeah.
Shane Taylor, does he imbue the best attributes of Taylor Wilde and Shane Sewell?
Oh, wow. Just trying to think. He didn't do the bum shuffle.
Okay.
Imagine if he did.
There you go.
Could have been the difference maker.
Yeah. Like, it would help him get out of the Kakina clutch. It's like, and there we go.
Joe never felt more uncomfortable.
And
On Dynamite afterwards, MJF and Samoa Joe have their big first confrontation. MJF, amazing line. The only reason Joe came out here so fast, you confused my theme song with an ice cream truck.
Very good.
Joe, not that over in Indiana, to my huge annoyance, and he kind of just rolls with it and starts slagging the crowd.
Yeah.
And granted, the time you spent out here with all these Midwest mouth breathers probably made you that stupid.
Max says William Regal scouted him back in the day. MJF told him to send him an email once a month to track his progress. And of course, he was never signed. The crowd chanting, he fucked up. But that's okay. He beat his British ass and sent him back to NXT. You keep going, Joe, and you're next. Brilliant.
Good. It was good shit.
He has brought up the email thing before, though, hasn't he?
And the Regal not living up to his end of the bargain as well.
MJF does his better than you spiel and Joe graciously lets him exit, but then kicks the ropes into his balls. Yeah. And Joe motions for a super muscle buster, but scarpers when Adam Cole runs him off. Joe won the number 1 contenders tournament, but came up short at Grand Slam Dynamite, but a great showing, which I've spliced right now. Good stuff, Future Jay.
You're very sure.
There you go. Yeah, pretty sure.
And the Dynamite Diamond Ring. This match is over. Lucha! 2 and throw! As Paul Turner getting checked on the floor, but inside the ring, Samoa Joe is... He's out and MJF is done! How about that? Samoa Joe. Classy in defeat. Seeing it all, but it's coming to focus. We have a new TNT champion. Look at this, the champion, Luchasaurus.
Next up is for the TNT title, Darby Allin versus Luchasaurus, the champion. Although it's not on his waist or around his shoulder, it's on Christian Cage's. Darby and Luchasaurus, they didn't do much together at all in London. This is their first singles match. Their previous bouts are all like kind of tag or multi-man. So, oh man, Christian, oh my God, he's so good. And he's crazy over at the moment. Like, this is the peak of his hotness.
He's great.
Is this the hottest he's been since like jumping ship to TNA, I think?
I think, yeah, like maybe 3 or 4 times in his career where he was like super over. So there was when he jumped ship to TNA. Then there was when he came back and he won the belt and he was feuding with Orton. Then there was, I think it was before he jumped to TNA is when he was feuding with Cena on television and the fans really wanted that match and WWE never gave it to them. And now, they're the kind of 4 peaks.
What about when he was doing his brilliant Christian?
I've lost your on your own.
That was... I think that was my favorite. I love Christian his entire career, but I think that was my favorite time, was he not? That was around like the invasion time, so he was, I suppose, pushed away with you, unfortunately.
You can have the light heavyweight belt, Christian, you know?
Do you remember Edge won the Stanley Cup King of the Ring trophy and Christian went
like,
around with it instead?
Carried around, which is, he's basically doing that gimmick again.
Yeah. And it's also pretty nice of Christian to hang around younger or less established talent like Jungle Boy or Luchasaurus. People who maybe can't cut a promo or not as well and have his heel heat rub off on them. So yeah, perfect for Luchasaurus. Dino's in control as Christian instructs him to maim Darby. It's like, that's a conceptual instruction. Should be more specific. You know, throw him into the steps. Which he does well, actually. He busts open Darby, pinning half of him under the stairs and stomping up the stairs step by step.
Oh, now Luchasaurus, is he going to walk up? Oh, my goodness. Darby Allin. That's a near 300-pound man.
And then Nick Wayne comes over. You know, he's skinny. He needs to go on the juice, but you know, he's fine. He struggles to lift the fucking steps. The first wrestler in history to struggle to lift the steps.
These empty steps.
Yes.
It's like him selling that and Abyss when he was in the last Rights match in 2007 when he sold picking up the headstone and then Sting just goes beep. He just heads it, not a bother to him. It's like, you're a dick, Sting.
The man with no name, Ed Leslie, did it as well when the death of Hulkamania, and he has, look at his tombstone, and he's like, you bastard. Alan fights valiantly, flipping out of a chokeslam attempt, but gets brickwalled like a crown headbutt. Or like that's the Stop That Mr. Simpson head, you know?
People are just jerks.
Which drops Darby, and no selling a top rope offense. Nice tope to Lucha to the outside, but I was more impressed with how smoothly he jutted him with the chair and he got Lucha to sit. So he just and he sat down. Very nice. Lex Luger torture rack. 30% is nice.
Yeah, like a 2 out of 10. Yeah.
2. Oh my God. As Christian offers Nick Wayne a white towel to throw in. Darby negotiates his way to an avalanche code red. Oh, really cool. Dude kicks out a 3.01. Oh, dude, come on. Christian KOs Nick Wayne and readies him for a one-man concerto. Darby sees it and has to decide either the welfare or a coffin drop. And this distraction is enough to allow the Tar Pit Titan to take control.
Fuck's sake.
Second tombstone. On the second one, Darby's arms go limp after taking the first one. Oh, so good. Snake Eyes into the turnbuckle. Big lariat to the back of the neck. Pin. 1, 2, 3. And Luchasaurus retains.
The vicious lariat to the back of the head. 2 and 3.
I thought this match was awesome. I am a ginormous fan of Darby Allin. I think he's the best mid-card babyface in AEW. I think he's been consistently great for 4 years straight. I'm kind of a bit bummed that he hasn't gotten that kind of main event push yet, because I do think that he's good enough. I think he's unique enough, and I think he's over enough. Middling.
Quite
a little
unique.
bit unique.
A little bit,
somewhat.
Quite. A sliver of uniqueness. But yeah, I think he's great. And he has the best ragdoll physics in professional wrestling history. He's better than Jeff Hardy at
so crazy.
Crumpling and burning. I quite like this slow burns storyline that they're doing with Nick Wayne as well. I think they're eventually going to... Honestly, I think I'd like to see Darby turn heel. I think he's been face for 4 years. He's kind of hit a ceiling. I think the best way to break through would be to turn heel and see what they can do with it.
I think the best way for Nick Wayne is if he was to wrestle Brian Alvarez. And don't plan it. Call it in the ring. I agreed with you 100% there.
Yeah, love the match. I just thought it was quite funny that Christian distracted Darby by setting up the concerto on Nick Wayne, and Darby's like, what'll I do? Go with the coffin drop. He was going to do the coffin drop.
Yeah.
He'd want me to do the coffin drop.
What a prick.
And it's great because Christian uses that as ammo when he talks to Nick Wayne and says, Darby is not the right fit for you, but if you come with me, I can make something of you. So yeah, I think it's great that they've got a couple of different ways for this to go, and it makes sense either way.
But your father's dead.
But your father's dead. Dead. But your father's dead. Dead. But your father's... Are you going to introduce me to your little friend, Nick Wayne? I understand that you have a father. Wardlow also had a father. Pillman, you had a father. But your father's dead. Dead. But your father's dead.
You want your 5-star matches? You want your 30-minute classics? Not me. Big meaty man slapping meat. That's what I want.
I was walking down the street, cause I was gonna go and buy some meat, cause down the street is where I buy my meat.
Match number 7 of the night. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Miro, the Redeemer. Hobbs not doing so great since Team Taz split. I know he's been TNT champ, but he beat Wardlow But you can't take pride in that because Wardlow's cooled off.
Thank you.
I did hear it on the internet that Wardlow cooled off.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was like a never-ending feud that went nowhere that hurt both of them really badly. Yeah. I like Hobbs. I think Hobbs has a lot of potential. He looks great, got good presence, and he's a good wrestler, but he's had no booking help. They gave him this gimmick where he carried a book, the book of Hobbs, and that was shit. And then he feuded with Wardlow and he won the belt, and that was shit. And then they put him with QTV, and that was even shitter. And then he kind of flipped between heel and babyface, and that was shit. And then he had a series of squash matches on Collision for 7 weeks, and that was also shit. So it's nothing is the fault of his, but he needs help.
Question, which is better, the Book of Hobbs or the Book of Dillygaff?
Oh, Dillygaff. You know I love Dillygaff.
He's done. He's out.
Come on.
How has Miro, what's the Twitch stream going? How's Miro getting on? Is he getting many trains?
You're getting mainly those ones that you'd find in Eastern Europe, with the handles that you've got.
Hobbs or Miro seem intimidated and they lock horns.
And that's a hell of a collar and elbow tie-up, let me tell you. They locked up like grown-ass men.
Collar and elbow tie up both men.
Beefy Hoss bout. Powerhouse, hardcore Hobbs back and forth. They're wrestling, but no real spots. There's a nice drop kick from Miro that Hobbs sells a bit early. There's a running senton from the apron outside, which is nice. Fans chant, "Slap that meat." And oh my, fans amuse themselves building up, and they're just going, meat, meat, meat with every strike. Miro especially leans into it, building to a big meat explosion.
How many more can Powerhouse endure? Here comes the windup and the pitch.
And Hobbs goes down.
Miro hits a big meaty kick. Hobbs keeps standing and retorts with a meat slam. Off the ropes, hits a big meat, stomp to the lower meat. Accolade! Hobbs powers out, meat buster. But Miro responds with one of his own, a second camel clutch, a second meat clutch. That sounds like a wanking thing.
Yeah.
But that does it, and Miro is redeemed.
Miro! Hobbs had no option. He ran out of options, fellas.
I like big Hoss matches. I am a fan. I thought the first half of this was quite slow and plodding. And then once the wrestlers kind of realized what was going on with the fans and they decided to work with it, I quite enjoyed it. I thought it built up fairly well. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I thought the match was absolute shit, deathly average, until the crowd made a game of it. They were amusing themselves, and then the wrestlers got in on it, and that was brilliant. So the wrestlers owe Chicago for this match. Well done, Chicago.
Two big lads hitting each other? Nope, not for me. Thank you very much. I remember Jay randomly out of the blue said, "Hey, check out Sheamus and Walter from Clash at the Castle."
Are you going to say that you didn't like this?
No, I was like, there is no way I'm watching this fucking match.
Oh, it was amazing.
He's like, they beat the shit out of each other.
Really good.
I was like,
really
I will never watch that match. I don't enjoy this stuff. That Sheamus spot where he has them on the rope and he starts clubbing them.
Barrow, yeah.
It's one of my most hated spots, and Miro did that very spot in this match. So overall, really, really bad.
Yeah. Sheamus and Walter is light years better than this match, by the way. Holy shit. The crowd saved this. I just want to say congratulations to Walter. He's just passed 2 weeks after this pay-per-view, passed Honky Tonk Man's IC title reign in length. And he did it. He had to beat Chad Gable in his hometown with his kids watching, and he beat the piss out of him and just and pinned them. And WWE cameraman got right up into his daughter's grill, and she was fucking bawling her eyes out.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
It's so great. People are like, "Oh, you're damaging the kid." And I was like, fuck off. This is a great moment. This kid is going to be shown in video packages for the rest of her life. It was amazing.
Walter, brah! Making kids cry, brah! Get in.
Gunther makes history!
Post-match, Hobbs Pearl Harbors the Bulgarian, but to stop the beatdown is Lana.
The hot and flexible Lana.
CJ Perry. Lana, I'm just calling her Lana. She avoids tripping by cleverly taking off her shoes. The light chair shot is a successful distraction as Miro sends Hobbs packing. But Miro unexpectedly doesn't celebrate with his missus. Tune in next week. Or don't.
No interest in watching it. What the hell Miro's doing with his gimmick, I don't understand. And again, it's crappy promos that I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh no. You're saying Miro's cooled off.
And I'm not even on the internet.
I've been hearing a lot on the internet that Wardlow's lost it, that the momentum's gone.
I feel like I'm getting sick of saying it, and I know y'all are getting sick of hearing it.
Go.
Right now is the time for Ruby Soho to be a champion.
Next up is for the TBS Championship. It's Ruby Riott, Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander. Oh, how did undefeated Jade Cargill lose the title? May 2023, Double or Nothing. There was an open challenge after jobbing out Johnny Nitro's wife, Taya Valkyrie. Statlander smashed her in under 50 seconds, ending Cargill's 508-day reign and 60-match unbeaten streak. Pretty amazing. Steve-O, are you a fan of Miss Statlander?
Yeah, I think she's a good wrestler. I think she's got a great look. I miss the alien gimmick. It gave her some kind of character to work with. Now she's like, I'm fighting champion, which is my gimmick, you know? I don't really have a gimmick. But I don't think that this title run has done her any favours, and I don't think it's elevated the belt. I think it's kind of slid down the pecking order since Jade was gone.
It's just Jade's a megastar, or she will be. You can see it. Like.
Her strength advantage. A little blue steel there from Chris Statlander, the TBS champion.
Explain what that means to people who don't know.
It's a reference to Zoolander, the Ben Stiller film.
You know what? Statlander, you may remember she had a short WWE run on SmackDown in 2019, losing with Carissa Rivera. I'll have you know.
Exactly.
Do you remember that?
Of course I do.
As long as you have no further questions. Absolutely and totally.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, she's been plagued with injuries in AEW. An ACL injury in 2020.
Her knees are knackered.
Yeah, their knees and her ACL in 2022. But she's back. And what she got going on the Dynamite beforehand, it's like, Chris Statlander, the hottest woman in AEW that didn't make the card in London. Heat on the match is Ruby's never gotten a championship in AEW, and Statlander's sick and weary of Ruby's faction, the Outcasts, always interfering and sneaking a win. JR gets over Statlander's strength, and Ruby gives us a gun show. Yeah.
Now, before you go any further, Jay, Ruby Riott.
Oh, no.
No. Coming out in a luminous, multiple shades of green. Steve is gone. What bar is Ruby Riott? Another
refresher bar.
Give me a fave. Wow, okay, we have an approximately 99.95% failure rate for this what bar. Give us your top 5 of the thousands.
Matthew Ryan says she is Wrigley's Double Mint.
Matthew Ryan, that's a good try.
Good try.
Now, I do enjoy that.
All right. It's tough to come up with it. You got like 4 seconds.
It's right.
Tough,
it's right to stay in the show.
Citric Silver says she is
Won't
Citrus
she
Sharp Polo. At Nice to Wrestlers said she is a bar lemonade.
What rhymes with wrestler? Ooh, she's like Alka-Seltzer. I don't know.
Christ.
That's all I got. Shouldn't have brought attention to it.
Daniel Parry says she is Key Lime Pie Kit Kat.
Wow, that's quite nice.
And the last one, at Return of the SK.
Well, who was the last guy?
Daniel Parry.
Would you marry?
I haven't even met him.
Okay, and the last guy?
At Return of the SK, she is Scampi and Lemon Knickknacks.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do.
That didn't. I can't rhyme okay with K. That was terrible. Listen, that's what you're getting. That's all we have.
That's all you deserve.
The well is
And
already
that's
dry.
you out of your misery for the...
really? Are we
until
done?
Next time.
Okay.
Who won Whopper?
They're all winners.
They're all winners.
No, they're not.
They're all winners.
saying that.
They are.
Okay.
Ruby's got to make sure Statler doesn't get into a strength match. Statler's stronger than most men.
JR gets over Statlander's strength, and Ruby gives us a gun show. Yeah, I've noticed Mox is doing that as well, and he's going,
Yes.
yeah, it's great. There's a sign in the crowd. Saraya calls fries chips, which is great. It's a true statement as well, because she's English. If they said Saraya calls chips fries, we'd know that's the heel term.
Oh, yeah.
You love signs.
I would say that McDonald's have fries and Burger King have fries as well. There's like a chip thickness.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know
McDonald's...
what the cutoff point is, though.
I think there's not much actual potato in a fry, isn't it? Like reconstituted like corn syrup or whatever they use in McDonald's. There's a ratio of chip wedge that has to be met. Ruby's in control with Statlander building back, but generally being countered and reversed. Dub approved mid-air collision and take a break. Nothing's happening, so Paige rips up that sign about the chips. Watching this, all I could think of is the London Scrum and the women's podcast wanting a second women's match on the card, and watching this and like, you're all right.
These wrestling fans, they don't get it. It's like no one just wants another match. And that goes for tag division, TNT division, international division. We want matches that have a build and a storyline and the outcome matters. I don't want a match. I want booking.
You're saying you don't want another Kid Rock Battle Royal.
We can never have enough Kid Rock Battle Royals. Ruby poison Frankensteiner. Amazing trust dive, bounce back into a swinging DDT. I love it.
It's really impressive. That was really good.
And Hurricane Rana whipping a kneeling Chris's head to the floor. Saraya distraction. No future. Destination unknown. New gen Vince Ruby's. Oh, Ruby's got to do it. No. Saraya distracts the ref, so it's time for the finish. Tony Storm hornswoggles out from under the ring.
Oh, the little bastard.
Grabs Ruby's illegal spray, leaving her open for a Sunday Night Fever. Terrible name, but a great move. A jumping tombstone. And Statlander retains.
Hell of a match, ladies.
This match, and still the TBS champion, Chris Statlander.
You enjoy this one?
I did.
Dying for this one. There we go. Women can do it.
I actually quite liked it because
sisters are doing it for themselves. Fucking. I love Ruby, by the way.
I think Ruby Soho is the best lady in the entire roster. I think she's great.
She's very good. Underutilized.
Absolutely. Like serious package going on here. Yeah. She can talk. She can wrestle. Little bit unique look. Smidgy unique. The classic case of too many false finishes in this match. This is not anything new, but it's a big problem in general in AEW. Most matches are won by a roll-up. That's the ultimate finishing move now for most wrestlers. It's the danger move. And I was thinking, our boy Kazarni.
Oh, wow.
He'd be fucked because his finisher was a roll-up. So he's not capable of winning a match.
Or he'll just win all of the matches.
I can't figure it out. Yeah. Bring him back anyway.
My name is Kazarni. We is Elcom. Tiazu, Kiazarnival.
Seems like you didn't like this match. I actually thought that this match was good. I thought like the first half of it was quite slow, but then you were saying that they did too many false finish spots, but I think that that's what got the fans into this match. I think if they didn't heat it up and start hitting big moves and kickouts, I think that this match would have died, and that's what saved it. But that is an issue in the long term because you shouldn't have to have a WrestleMania match every week to get the fans into it, and that's why you need to book things. The fans need to care before the bell rings.
Yeah, I agree with that. It actually was a good match. It's just you were starting to try to get me to care during the match. The groundwork should already be done this stage. But I did like a couple of Ruby's moves. They were great. And Chris has nice power moves. There's a twisting neck breaker, twisting Falcon's Arrow, breast rope, twisting power slam. So very impressive. And, oh my God, on Collision the following week, Statlander, she successfully defends, gets jumped by the Renegade Sisters. How would you like that? But who wards them off? Jade, she returned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Looked amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I must watch Collision.
And took out there's like 3 good things on the show. Two good things that you don't. Just watch our show. There you go. I'll splice it in.
I am subscribed.
Here we go. And Jade.
But I didn't ring the bell.
Oh,
250.
Make sure you ring the bell.
Ring the bell. We're just making wanking.
Ring the bell.
Wanking.
Jade Cargill isn't back for fun and games. She's back for business.
Yeah, and that was it for Jade. As just a few days later, she reported to the WWE Performance Center. Maybe chose WWE as Cody and Brandy are there as well. They'll help her kind of shoe in.
WWE are, in my opinion, are better at marketing wrestlers, and they're better at making people feel like superstars. And AEW is the work rate place. And I don't think she's got the work, but I do think she's got everything else. And I think in WWE, like just at a big show, you know, like a WrestleMania or SummerSlam, just her and Rhea going face to face, like
Ooh,
that,
yeah.
to me just sounds like, I want to say a money match, but close enough to a money match.
Okay.
Getting low.
Absolute Ricky Starks versus Bryan Danielson in a strap match with Ricky Steamboat on commentary. What happened? Starks has been taking his frustrations out on the steamer, whipping him, challenging him. And on Collision, yesterday, Ricky Steamboat cuts an old man promo where he's like, Ricky Starks, I've heard you on the social media. You've been asking me for a strap match. Like, you know he's 70 without looking at him. Steamer holds the contract in his right hand, and whenever he's talking, he does this. He's at a hurricane. He blinks his face.
What are they called? Blinkers.
Like a fucking horse.
Yeah. Listen, just have the mic and the contract in the other hands, mate. Stark signs it. He's facing the Dragon, but not Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the American Dragon. Starks has been hornswoggled as he's facing Daniel Bryan, aka Bryan Danielson, at the pay-per-view the following night.
AKA break glass in case of emergency match. Is what this was.
Punk's drop. Yeah, he was only cleared this week to wrestle, and wow, you needed that immediately. My goodness.
I loved, God bless Ricky Steamboat. He was saying, people call me Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the Dragon Ricky Steamboat, Ricky Steamboat the Dragon. He's literally done all the combinations. God, no, we call you Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That's your name.
Dragon the Steamboat.
Sorry, I forgot that one. But I actually really enjoyed how they showed the name on the contract.
It was,
size 40 font. I actually thought it was quite fun, and I didn't know Bryan Danielson was coming back.
Everybody in the wrestling community knows me as Ricky Steamboat. They know me as Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. They know me as Ricky Steamboat the Dragon. But they also know this guy.
Wait, what?
Oh, just quickie note, on the pre-show, Bryan says the last time I was in a strap match, it was against somebody I loved, and we beat the shit out of each other, and I don't even like you, Ricky. Which was a great reference to Bryan's match with Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, in Royal Rumble 2020.
There is no escape in this situation, but I question Daniel Bryan's decision to tie himself to one of the most diabolical, unholy beings we have ever seen.
Very fun match. A couple of things. It includes pinfalls and submissions in a strap match. Brian got a haircut, but it was kayfabe. Michael Cole is like, Brian was under the ring. The Fiend just ripped out his hair so evenly, you know. And they're selling the match, and Michael Cole is like, is this the last gasp for Brian? 6 minutes into the match? Oh, come on. Story of the bout is Brian trying to build momentum, but getting cut off and beat down, getting flailed in the corner. You can see the welts. It's great. Getting a DDT on the commentary table, trying a Busaiku knee, but reversed into a Sister Abigail. Great. Ends with the Fiend no-selling strap shots, mandible claw into a choke slam, and gets the pin.
Down, and the Fiend retains the Universal title.
A great high-intensity bout, but lads, it's a strap match. Where are the 4 lights in the corner of the rings that don't work? And you have to
with the most annoying booking trope ever, which goes against the rules, because you have to get 4 in a row, and they always do the gimmick of, you know, a guy carries someone on the back.
Yeah.
He hits it. The guy hits him behind it. But they both count. And then when they got the last one, and he fights back and he hits and he wins.
Strap matches are shit, aren't they?
I think it's pretty safe to say this is the best one there's ever been before we even get into the match.
The Fiend one was quite good.
Yeah, it was good.
And it's not really a strap match. They use it to hit each other, but otherwise it's not a strap match. It's actually free on WWE's YouTube, so go watch it.
Exactly the same as this match, by the way. This isn't a conventional strap match.
Yeah.
It's full of unconventional lifestyles.
I think this is what a strap match is.
Jeff Hardy, unconventional lifestyle. What are you saying about me, Jim Ross? My wife is very happy.
Holy shit.
Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
Holy shit.
You were right to mention it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ricky Starks comes out. He's like, strike it lucky. Oh, it's the generation game, isn't it?
It's the generation.
The Brucey bonus.
Yeah.
Brucey bonus.
Yeah.
Strike it looking Michael Barrymore.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
And I wanna play the game with you.
We get Bryan Danielson's ROH theme. The final countdown. The final countdown. Just a quick note, lads, you should edit it because it takes way too long to get to the chorus. And then it's like off for another 2 minutes until you get back to the chorus. You know?
They need to play as much of it as they paid for it. I assume they paid for the entire song.
Supposedly the cost for this song is astronomical.
Which is a waste of money. But like, if you're going to buy it, you might as well play as much as you can. Really.
Get all use out of it.
Exactly. And there's no way Ring of Honor, they must have got a massive discount or they didn't pay for it at all.
They didn't pay.
It's like Paul Heyman,
Heyman
ECW.
did,
He didn't pay Metallica for Enter Sandman. What are you going to do? Sue me? You can see the insides of my pocket. I got nothing.
Yeah, Bryan Danielson returning from injury, the first man to place the strap around his wrist, and Ricky Starks.
Ricky Pearl Harbor's Danielson before his strap is applied using a Hogan weightlifter's belt. Yeah! And busts open Bryan. You know the
Moxley backstage taking notes here. Ooh.
I was like, move over, Jock Swatch, enter Mox Swatch. Time from the first time they touched to bleeding, 65 seconds. As soon as Bryan started bleeding, I kind of got sad because it was like, oh, we're not getting a Bryan Danielson wrestling match. It's going to be a angle match, you know, a storyline match. But what a story. Starks fucking Bronco rides Bryan into the corner.
Yeah. The disrespect.
Oh, disrespect.
He out road dogged the road dog.
Did. A lot of close-ups looking at Bryan's bloody face as he's choked by the belt. Ricky wallops Bryan over the head with the strap. Bryan flails Starks back in response. And the front, just to be even. 2 signs in the crowd. You like the old signs?
Mm-hmm.
Don't bleed on me, Mox.
Yeah, that's quite good.
And cry me a river, punk. And when the two were on the mat, a great sign on the hard camera, Cook Pass Babtridge.
That's very good. Very good.
Oh, he was definitely at All In and then travelled over for All Out. Yeah, definitely. Awesomely gross shot of a bloody turnbuckle looking at the perp. Ricky Stark's busted face. Up the ante. Let's just start whipping each other in the fucking face with the straps.
Oh my God. One of them just fucking smashes Brian right across the face. And I was like, oh, I was getting flashbacks of the time to Raw a few years ago. Do you remember when Brie Bella, when the Bella twins were back, they were wrestling Liv Morgan and Brie was doing the yes kicks and she didn't control her legs and she just sparked Liv Morgan right in the chin and just knocked her out. I was like, stop hitting people in the fucking face. Wrestling's fake.
If you're shit, don't go near your opponent's face.
Yeah.
The good thing is she doesn't have any broken bones in her face. You can't get down on yourself. You can't get down on yourself.
Brian just goes into invincible mode and whips the stank out of Starks. Whack up a big bill. Interference. So Ricky Steamboat intervenes. Chops and blows still look great. Psycho knee. The bell lock, not doing it. So he wraps the strap around his neck and just Justin Roberts him.
Good reference.
Brian is just shouting to the crowd. It's like, you probably couldn't get on the mic and shout it, but he shouts it and it's picked up by the mat audio or whatever. He just says, he's got to get his fucking head kicked in. Because he said that in Ring of Honor is his big thing. Brian's choking him out. Ricky goes unconscious. The ref sees that Ricky's not moving and calls it. Goes to the bell ringer. And then back to Brian. And that's it. The match is over.
Brian Danielson!
And I was like, man, I get that wrestling is fake, but like, if he went unconscious, you go to Brian and shove him off immediately. Like a real fight would.
Or at the very least, ask him.
Yes.
The match is over. You can let go now, Brian.
Yeah, like Starks is out and he can't breathe. You got to get to it immediately. But hey, what'd you think of this one?
I'm in two minds about it.
Still thinking about Cook Bass Babtridge.
Yeah, don't like strap matches because you're just going to use the strap to hit each other, which isn't particularly interesting. But can I shock you?
Please do.
Okay. I've only gone and done the 360 on Ricky Stark's brother.
I know. I told you last year.
I think he's fucking great. Amazing entrance.
But does he need to go on the roids?
No.
No? Okay.
No,
okay.
He does not.
I love that's a legit question that we had.
Yeah, as a wrestling fan, you need to answer these things.
And have a grasp of John Steinbeck.
He's perfectly good in the ring. I mean, he's not necessarily the best on the roster, but perfectly fine. Needs a bit of work on the mic, but his persona is forming nicely. Since he won the Owen Hart Cup, it was brilliant. And he was going to be presented the cup by
Mick Foley, who gave him the cup.
Took it back, gave it to him again, took it back, gave it to him again. Who's the guy with the horse hair?
Jushin Liger.
Yes. So, well done. So, Jushin Liger was at the top of the ramp ready to present the cup to Ricky, and he just completely ignored him. And that was like instant heel turn. It's great. They got something with this guy. I was completely wrong about him. And he had, great match of Punk. I think he beat Punk twice, once singles, once in a tag. And I'm thinking, okay, they're going for something here. And then they just dropped the whole Punk thing. And now you're telling me that was the plan for this pay-per-view. I'm so upset because I would have loved to see another singles match with Starks and Punk. Very excited about what they can do with Ricky. As far as this match goes, I've seen people hitting each other before, but loved the ending. They kept Ricky strong. I would have had Ricky go over, but I'm okay with this ending.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was like the WrestleMania 13 Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold is bleeding, he gets put in the sharpshooter and he just kind of tries to lunge out and he can't and he loses more blood and he just goes unconscious and that's how they end the match. So he lost the match but keeps his pride. Just like Ricky. I'm not sold on his character and promo, but his in-ring work is very good. It's much better than last time we saw him. He got nothing to work with. Him, Stark Plug and Hardcore Hobbs, like, it was terrible. So I'm glad to see he's done so much good stuff here. Like, this has to be his best match. It's like either this or maybe Punk on Collision in August or the Owen Hart final. So, well done, well done. I have to say, afterwards, Brian said, oh yeah, Starks carried me through this match. I was like, I don't know about that, mate. Like, you're giving Starks his best match, and you gave MJF his best match as well, with the hour-long Iron Man as well. So, just thank you, Daniel Bryan.
He's amazing. Yeah, I thought this match was great. It was fucking violent. Verging on almost too violent, because for me, the art of wrestling is to make it look like it hurts, but, don't actually hurt people. That's the whole point of it. And I think sometimes Daniel Bryan likes it a bit too rough. He likes it a bit too real.
Apparently, allegedly.
Yeah, Brie, can you let us know? But never mind that. Like, this was dramatic, it was violent, it was entertaining. They told a really good story, especially considering that they didn't have any build, because the build was the Punk is sacked, and now,
they should have just put
emergency Brian.
Should have put the contracts above each other's face. That's how they do the promo.
But yeah, I really, really like this. I will say there were times where I felt bad for Ricky Starks, because Daniel Bryan was giving him such a beating, and I don't think that that's the level you should be going to, that you feel bad for the heel. But this is all nitpicking. It was phenomenal professional wrestling, gripping stuff, and I loved it.
Yeah, like Mick Foley, 2004, Mick Foley, he really puts over Randy Orton, shows him his hardcore side, because, he beat the hardcore legend and did all these crazy spots, and you didn't know how tough Orton could be till he saw this match. And then Mick Foley worked with Edge as well, and he didn't know how tough Edge could be, and really, really elevated him here. And Daniel Bryan did such an amazing job with MJF. Hour-long match, showed the wrestling side of MJF, not just an incredible charismatic talker. And he does the same with Ricky Starks here, and just shows, elevates him beyond what he was before, and probably more than Punk would have done with him. Would have been a great match, but you wouldn't think higher of Ricky Starks afterwards.
Yeah, I don't think Punk is a phenomenal professional wrestler, but I don't think he's the level of worker that's capable of getting a match like this out of Starks.
Like Star Maker kind of thing.
There's not many people in the history of professional wrestling who are as good as Danielson.
And Starks would have lost clean to Punk, I would say.
Oh man. Yeah, it's for the real world title. It would have been. Yeah.
Every time Ricky Starks gets an opportunity, he knocks it out of the park. And he was the one who carried me through that match. And so that's what I'm going to say.
Collision afterwards, Bryan Danielson drops a sad bomb. The time's ticking. He told his daughter he'd wind down his career when she turned 7. She is now 6. And he keeps his promises, especially to people he loves. But if this is Bryan's last year, it's going to be an epic year. And then he challenges and gets a match with Zack Sabre Jr. at Wrestle Dream.
I can't wait. It's going to be so good.
And it was really good. I was shit.
That's a match that hardcore wrestling fans have been waiting for years, and then we're finally getting it. It's an actual dream match on a card called Wrestle Dream.
Oh, no, he's not. Zack slips in, and now Statlander on back. Zack now with Danielson on his stomach.
No, don't do it.
Regoplex. Oh! And now Danielson, Busaiku knee.
3-pointer at the buzzer.
Oh. Busaiku knee. Danielson, 2, 3.
Oh, what a match. What a war, a physical war.
Match number 7, the third last match. So it's match number 10 of the night. Shibata and Eddie Kingston versus BBC with their BBBCs for BYOBB. It's Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. Oh, wow. Eddie Kingston's got the Claudio Sucks Eggs t-shirt. That's Terry Funk's famous shirt. Love you, Eddie. That was great. 3 more champions in this bout. I need to give out about the number of belts on display tonight. On the show, how many different people had championship belts?
It'd be easier to say how many people didn't have belts.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna do it.
Throw it out.
Steve, you asked me actually.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's ready.
Steve did it last time. I'm doing it
ready.
this time.
Okay. On the show, and I'll tell you after we get it. Okay. So, AEW belts. Who's got the Triple B, the world?
Okay, MJF.
Yes. International champion.
Orange Cassidy.
TNT.
Luchasaurus.
Very good. FTW belt.
Did he win it back it all in? Hook.
Yes.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
There you go. Tag titles.
FTR.
Trios.
The Acclaimed.
Yes. Women's.
Saraya.
TBS.
Statlander.
Very good. Okay. Ring of Honor belts.
Castagnoli.
Yeah, he's the world. TV is
Joe.
the pure title.
Fucker.
He's a delicious bread.
Shibata.
Yes. Tag titles.
Better than you, baby.
Yes. Women's.
Wow. Don't tell me I'm going to lose on this one.
Did you even watch the pre-show?
Don't tell me I'm going to lose on this one. Come back to it. Come back to it.
6-man Ring of Honor belts.
Come back to that.
Okay. New Japan Strong Openweight.
Eddie Kingston.
Yeah. Okay, so Women's Ring of Honor. She was from NXT. She came over. She shot the bed.
How's that going to tell me anything?
She said she didn't want to eat any more shit sandwiches.
She had wings.
Yes.
She had wings.
Oh! Coco beware.
Hold on.
She had wings. Yes.
She had fucking wings. Athena.
Hey!
Okay, and the trios. Motherfucker. Is it possible? Do you think there's any chance of me getting this?
I only heard about them researching it, but they were on the pre-show. They're a part of the 20-man Jobberoonie.
Am I going to get it? No.
Brian Cage is one in there.
Oh, the embassy.
Yes.
The embassy.
Yes. Very good.
Just the embassy.
The Mogul embassy, yeah.
Shit. I did okay.
You did. You're not bad. It's those fucking Ring of Honor ones, man.
Yeah, they're tough.
Didn't know that they were the 6-man. I thought it was still Dalton Castle and the boys.
On this show, 19 different people had championship belts.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's only Hook that didn't make the card, so he didn't have the FTW belt.
They have to do something about that. It's fucking stupid.
Why are Ring of Honor belts defended on AEW TV? Like, I know Tony owns the company and you want people, hey, look, Ring of Honor is a thing, but it's like, how is this sanctioned? You have your own TV show. You have your own show that is on the internet. You know, stay there.
Yeah.
Eddie's that raw bone guy that you run into in a bar who knocks your teeth out. You know what I mean? So that's what I think is unique about both of their dynamics.
Cash Wheeler Yuta, popular name. It's it's just odd. It's happened twice.
Cash Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, lads, do you really need a 4-hour show? You know, this is very much a merch stand match. Not to deride the lads, but it is a good time to nab something at the merch stand, take a pissy, grab a pint.
I know there's going to be fans out there who are like, it's Shibata.
I don't care about Shibata.
Yeah, put goat cheese on them, you know.
Olive
Toasted,
oil.
nicely toasted.
You know.
Gotta wait till they brawl on the outside to see the pairing I want, which is Claudio and Eddie.
Shibata and Brady Kingston.
Hey!
This shit writes itself.
Yes. I wanted to see Claudio and Eddie. We get a bit of handbags there. Obviously, these lads been feuding since 2009 in Chikara. Awesome. Big bout of nothing. Shibata in and spreads Claudio. He puts him in it.
It's just going to be bread metaphors for the next 4 minutes, isn't it?
A nice bit of crumpet here. He captures Claudio in a Devil's Gate. Better or worse than Takers?
Oh, way better.
Oh, yeah. Claudio powers out, picking him up and splatting him down. Later on, they have an uppercut party. Crazily, Shibata wins it, but immediately gets railed with back elbows by the security railing. Claudio wails on Eddie and hits a neutralizer, but Eddie still kicks out. Shibata applies a sleeper on Wheeler, but huge European uppercut and hot dang! 1-2, 3.01, and that's enough for the Swiss Superman to pick up the win.
Oh, counters, the uppercut, 2 and 3. Whoa, wow.
Pin clean in the ring. Again.
Something felt off about that finish, no?
I hated the finish. I thought it was really stupid. I thought it made Shibata look dumb, and I thought it made Eddie look like a geek.
But it felt like Eddie should have kicked out.
Yeah.
No?
It didn't feel like the natural end of the match. Yeah.
No.
So if you're in the scrum and Shibata was there and he asked him a question, would you be like, okay, given that God is infinite, given that the universe is also infinite, would you like a toasted tea cake?
I hated that. That was the only thing in the first 6 series of Red Dwarf I hated.
Talkie Toaster.
I hated him.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay. But I brought him back and I'll splice him just to piss you off.
Did you like him?
No.
Okay.
That's another bready question.
It's not just bready, it's quite currenty too.
Yeah, nothing about it. Eddie and Claudio is much more appealing and engaging matchup, and we will get it. Collision, they set up their bout for Arthur Ashe. Oh man, it was pretty great because I love when wrestlers bring up that they know each other from different promotions or back in the day. And I was like, hey, you met my parents. And then Claudio was like, well, who do you think they wish you were more like? Which is
Very
great.
good.
And Claudio was like, I want to beat you. And then if I beat you, you'll have to give me some respect. That's it.
Sometimes the right choice is not the easy choice.
Oh, give me
And
a break.
I've
You
never
know
made
what
the
I
easy
go
choice.
through because you lived with me and I lived with you. You met my parents. You know what I had to
I
go
sure
through.
did meet your
Yeah,
parents.
what? What? Say it.
Yeah.
Say it. I dare you to say it.
Easy,
come on
Who do
now.
you think your parents wish you would be like?
You want to play this game?
Makes Eddie so unique is that he is so emotional.
Center. Harden, tough dude right there on his knees.
Swinging in air right now.
The uppercut. No, Foley. Kingston baits him in the backslide. And the reaping enzigiri.
Excalibur.
The Ricola. Bomb. No. Wait a minute. Wait a reversal. 2. Kingston. The power bomb. Stocks him. 2, 3. And he's done it. Between them, whoever leaves Arthur Ashe is the winner. Will be the better man.
Code of honor adhered to.
And Eddie Kingston, not only the New Japan Strong Openweight Champion, but now the Ring of Honor World Champion.
We got Don Callis' former and current beau. It is Kenny Omega versus Takeshita. The Go Home Dynamite, Callis with Takeshita looks through Kenny's medical x-rays, which I thought was pretty awesome, saying to Takeshita he wants knees to damage Kenny's C4 and pinpoint his weak spots.
C2 through C4 compromise. What we need? Many strikes. Such as? Very good.
It was really weird, just when he was pointing it, he was like, kind of points at his hip, and when he says hernia, it's like, must be an inguinal hernia. Yeah. Is there more to this build?
I mean, it's like one of those things that's like technically they've been building up for a while, but they haven't really done anything. It's basically like Kenny
Sheamus and Daniel Bryan?
Yes. You know, Kenny used to with Callis kicked him out, and since then Kenny Omega's gone on a losing streak. I think he was like 0-6 at this point. Callis is basically saying that Takeshita is the new Omega. He's bigger, he's badder, he's stronger, he's faster. He's the new god of wrestling.
Best of luck to you, yeah.
And there's been essentially one beatdown on Kenny. That's it. I know they have history, but I could care about this more. But I suppose part of the build was Takeshita pinning Kenny at All In.
Hey, very good.
You know, like it does go back further. You know, like Takeshita was with the Elite at Blood and Guts and Anarchy in the Arena, and then he turned heel. So, but yeah, the build hasn't been particularly focused.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
that's succinctly.
Yeah.
Takeshita comes out there and Kenny Omega too. A decidedly Jake Roberts looking green, like a lime green and orange jocks with Kenny Omega. What bear?
You said it was over.
I didn't do this one.
I'm hornswoggling about.
I didn't do this one
because it's one of my favorite bars, an Animal Bar.
Yeah, it's Animal.
Yeah. Oh, there's Kenny Omega anyway. Here you go.
Yeah, I know what he looks like.
Kenny Omega. And my boy Osvaldo. It'd be even better if it was Oswaldo because it's the only name with OSW in it. But he says he is a Buckadine.
Oh, I've tried them before.
Oh, yeah?
Not nice.
Have you? What's a Buckadine?
Oh, I'm thinking of a macaroon.
They spell and pronounce it differently.
Is it wafer, Jay?
Yeah, a bit of a wafer action.
Ah, no, I'd like
Okay.
Yeah.
Takeshita absorbs kicks to the face. It's like, and I was like, I don't like this. He's not a stout owl fucker, like Tomohiro Ishii or something. Not much bigger lad than Kenny, and to be able to dismiss his offense, I didn't like it. Back and forth, neither man keeping control. Real nice wheelbarrow flip Kenny into Bret's turnbuckle. Bret's rope backsplash. Yes. Takeshita tries it again from the top rope. What did I tell you going past Bret's rope? And Kenny gets his knees up. Follows up with a Terminator clap. Can we get a da-da-da-da-da? Jesus Christ. What's going on? It's just not happening.
Too many Brian Alvarez in the house now.
And he does a beauty of a high-speed tope. Snapdragon! Another, but Takeshita lands on his feet. Well done. V-trigger, but still Takeshita wins the exchange. Big time V-trigger. And the pin is enough to have Callis motion to try intervene. Kenny tries to negotiate a one-winged angel on the ropes. No, but Avalanche Blue Thunder Bomb. Holy crap.
Konosuke Takeshita. Avalanche Blue Thunder Bomb! Oh, man!
Callis whips out a screwdriver. He gets stuck in the mat, which is amazing, which is very much like, I'm sure he meant it with John Nord, the Berserker, had a sword and he tried to impale the Undertaker.
Oh, yes.
And it stuck. Oh,
Jay?
yes.
My
love for you is like a truck berserker. Would you like to making fuck berserker? Oh my goodness.
Been a while?
Oh, well, what, 80 episodes or so? Maybe more? Who knows? Takeshita eats moves, but secretly grabs the screwdriver. But the ref sees it. And before Omega hits a one-winged angel, it's reversed. Takeshita surely has to win. Expose the naked kneecap. Woo! V-trigger. 1, 2, 3. And the heel wins clean. Oh, wow.
Wagamama! That is 1, 2, 3!
Great match, loads of great moves. Really happy with the result, even though I don't care about this feud. It's just nice to see a heel win clean over one of the top baby faces in the company. It's wow, holy shit, I can't believe that happened. Other than that, I mean, I don't know what to say. It was just really good, but I don't really want to see this go anywhere else. And we've already seen now Takeshita being naked and winning a match. I mean, knee pad comes off. Well, put it away. Put it away.
Start pixelating it. Sir.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I agreed. They haven't done enough in this particular feud to make you care. But, I love Kenny Omega. And good on you, Takeshita. Just stay away. Not stay away from me, but I'm not sold on you.
No, you're done now.
Action-wise, this match was...
I love Don Callis as well.
He's great. Action-wise, this match was incredible. 2 exceptional workers going in there and working like a 20-minute balls to the wall, all-out action match. This is exactly what the AEW fan base wants. And for some people, this is an absolute 5-star match. But I just like, in my opinion, no match should get 5 stars if it doesn't have a great build. And this match...
It's not in the Tokyo Dome.
And yes. And this match didn't. I don't only want to see moves, you know what I mean? I want to care about the moves that are being done. But it was still amazing because they're both incredible professional wrestlers.
It just made me think, I was just, watching Kenny Omega take bumps and dish it out as well, but mostly take it in this one, is that there was an interview where he was saying, oh yeah, my body's getting battered, especially working, New Japan strong style.
So Kenny, don't.
Yes.
Change your fucking style and wrestle for 10 more years, mate.
If I don't give people that, then people are just going to think I'm a shell of what I used to be, or that I'm phoning it in.
So yeah, he was saying he's got kind of his New Japan best bout machine character and his AEW character, which is wildly different. And he can do the AEW one for a lot longer. I'm just kind of glad he's saying that and he's not just going to be work rate only, because like when I think of Kenny Omega, I think of kind of creative stuff that he's done rather than his incredible wrestling. That too, but like Wrestle Kingdom 13 Undertale style entrance versus Tanahashi, it was like, oh my god, it's amazing. And he got the guy who worked on Undertale to work on it with him. Or he showed up as Sans on Dynamite, you know, and he had the face mask thing and he had the hoodie and hands pockets in it. Oh my God, you know, none of those required a bump. Those two fantastic memories. So, yeah. I hope he wrestles for a lot longer.
Definitely.
For that Snapdragon.
Watch out.
And by the way, just on Kenny, gets dropped on his neck again.
Oh, at the start.
Yeah, please stop this.
Yeah, Ospreay did it after a bit door as well, and it was terrifying. You don't need to do it, lads. Wrestling is about faking getting hurt.
Yeah, we got to bring in Hulk Hogan in here. He'll show him how to bump. Just do a drop toe hold. And then kind of Schwab over him. There you go. Sorted.
This is like Hogan's tenure in Japan.
Yes. Yeah. This is it.
もうとにかくノンタイトルマッチですから両方思いっきりいってくれると思います。ただ天竜は龍谷馬勝負やってきましたけど、ホーガンはこのところちょっとタイトルから縁はないんですけど。はい。
Next up, it is the Young Bucks and FTR versus the Bullet Club Gold and the Gun Club. An 8-man tag. Wheeler throws round the son of... the feud... How was this put together?
There's no feud.
It was on Dynamite.
There's no fucking feud. Tony, what are you doing, mate?
He's gotten angry.
It's a fucking Dynamite match that he put on the semi-main event of a $60 pay-per-view to pad it out because there's going to be moves. I'm sorry, I'm annoyed.
He's annoyed.
That I had to sit through this match.
Okay. There was a backstage segment that they filmed after All In saying, hey, do you want to have a match? Yes. Okay, we do. Okay, see it all out.
How about we do us versus you guys all out?
Wheeler throws around the son of Billy Gunn. Hey, he would. Wheeler knows how to handle a gun.
Hey-o.
There you go. I'm still sad that this isn't CMFTR versus Kenny and the Bucks. We'll never get a proper on-screen feud and blow off to this whole thing. The biggest thing that happened in AEW ever.
Yeah. The money that was left on the table.
But I suppose the point that Alvarez has made several times, and he's dead fucking red. Don't you do it?
I want. He wants to do it.
He wants to do it.
Yeah. He call it in the ring.
He wanted his face.
I want him to call it in the ring. Wrestle Nick Wayne and call it in the ring. Sorry, yes.
Say in a different world, Punk wasn't fired. You say, hey, Punk, you got to get you against Kenny. Nah, you're good. My contract is my contract, and you're going to pay me what you're going to pay me. Hey, Kenny, what you think? Yeah, I'm okay. Bucks? Meh. So they don't apparently get paid based on pay-per-view buys.
On the gate, or they don't get the points.
So there's nothing in it for them to ever have these matches, unfortunately.
So you don't have anything on them?
No, we were never going to get those matches.
So, lads, just get to what we want to know. Bucks get in. Bucks get booed vociferously.
Oh, Matt Jackson tagging himself in. Very interesting. I would love to say mixed reaction in Chicago from Matt Jackson, but it's more of straight boos.
Booed. Obviously due to Punk. Possibly why Kenny's reaction was also a bit subdued. Bucks, I was just thinking, at the start of the pay-per-view, everyone's sad. They should have hit CM Punk's theme and the Bucks come out.
Oh.
And they're like, yeah, CM Punks.
Oh.
CM Bucks.
Oh.
And
CM Prick.
Yeah, and just be like, who's your daddy, Chicago? You know.
It would be major heel heat.
Yeah.
Who's your daddy, Montreal?
Juice with a bit of Road Dogg Juke and Jive. Sorry, OC.
No bumming.
Sans bummage.
Yep.
Wurzel bummage.
Is it me, or does Juice have the most ill-fitting jocks I've ever seen?
Tell me all about it in excruciating detail.
They're both tiny.
Yeah, and too big.
But swampy at the same time. Yes.
Yes.
It's bizarre.
It's a paradox.
Yes.
Such a weird fit, isn't it?
You know, like, jeans are the hardest thing to shop for because they might have your size, but they just don't sit right. Yeah, Juice goes into a shop. I'm not happy with these, you know, he needs a montage. where the Guns and Jay White are sitting on a couch outside, and he comes out and shows the Speedos, and they're like,
He comes out with a best Sunday dress and a hat, and they're starting like, I don't like that. And then he comes out with the swamp ass, and they're like, yeah! Love it. 8-man standoff, big brawl, quadruple water maneuver, and into a quadruple sharpshooter. Nick Jackson in for the hot tag, deafening boos.
Now back body drop, the tag made to Nick Jackson.
Escalera does win over a portion of the crowd. Jay White avoids a line of offense from the three lads, but we get a suck it face buster. Great spot.
Suck it!
Superplex, splash, elbow, 450, and that's not the finish. Sheamus, really good. What is the finish?
A very complex sequence with big rigs that are missed.
Big motherfucking rigs!
Switchblades that are missed, switchblades that are reversed, and then Jay White eventually catching Cash with the switchblade, and then Colton Gunn comes in, gets the pin for the 1-2-3.
Oh my god, the book's lost.
Now, the legal man, the cover, and yes!
Book's lost.
Yeah.
In Chicago.
Jobbing to the son of Billy Gunn.
By God almighty, when you put it like that.
Yeah, big schmalls, 8 men, so whatever you hit, there's always someone there to rush in and break it up. Story-wise, I do like the newfound friendship with the Bucks and FTR. Like, we got a shatter machine with help from Nick Jackson, and early on, Dax was helped with a spike pile driver. But the camaraderie is short-lived. Sure, son of Billy Gunn won, so that's that.
Yeah, I think we all agree that Jay White is a massive star.
Exceptional.
And I think what they're doing with him right now is absolutely fine. Just nice gradual build to the top. So he has his own stable, although I think the Guns are okay. I'm no interest in Juice Robinson. As a stable goes, they're all perfectly good wrestlers. Love the entrance, by the way.
The entrance looks great. Yeah. It's very
fucking
cool.
love it. I love the music and I love the way the camera circles around them. It's brilliant. Yeah, other than that, FTR and the Bullet Club Gold had a 58-minute match on Collision about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best tag matches I've ever fucking seen. It was incredible.
TV.
On free TV, and this wasn't a patch on that. That's all I could think watching this.
That's
watching this
the
match.
issue with AEW in a nutshell. Just every match has to be incredible. That means that on the big shows, there's no room to have an actual incredible match.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is bring back jobber matches.
They do for Hobbs and Miro.
Yeah, that's
because that's all they've had.
You can't have 3 shows a week as well with the match. But
No.
Okay, listen, scrap it. We'll just go. Call it in the ring. If they called it in the ring, they couldn't have 10 billion spots, and it would actually be better.
This is the Alvarez podcast, isn't it?
It is. I love how we bully someone different every.
All right,
I love Brian Alvarez.
He's great.
He is
very
great.
entertaining,
He's
man.
great.
Yeah.
Brian Alvarez, Brian, step in if you will. Oh God. Take what we in the business call a bump. It's only people that.
So 12 matches down, 1 match left, because it's time for your main event. It's your main event. Orange Cassidy versus John Moxley for Cassidy's international title. Steve, what's an international title?
It is what used to be known as the All-Atlantic title.
Yes.
Until the powers that be realized that they had flags from countries that were not touching the Atlantic Ocean, and they were in fact in the Pacific Ocean, and so they changed it because people were laughing at them.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a bit nitpicky, but I do appreciate the accuracy. So it's orange versus red. OC versus Mox. Tony says he's been saving this pairing since 2020. Now, the build-up of this was a match on Dynamite, which was the winner between Penta and OC gets a date with Mox. Lovely. He's the belle of the ball. Oh,
The belle of the ball.
Crimson Moxley here. By the way, I'm Orange Cassidy and I don't have a catchphrase.
Yeah, fuck you.
The
I can't
cheek.
believe he stole that.
The cheek.
We have the Virgil dollars to prove.
I've been saying that for years. You fucking cheeky prick. I love you, but fuck you.
The check better be in the mail.
Yeah. Don't think that I haven't already noticed that and been annoyed.
He'll start like walking away and do the Joe spot where he doesn't, where the guy takes the bump.
He's now coming out to the ring smoking.
Because I'm freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, and I do not have a catchphrase.
Ooh, nice camera work of Orange Cassidy's tape fist, but then focus changing to Mox. Well done. V1 K-Fabe special. Orange Cassidy motions to put his hands in his pockets, and then Mox just decks him in the face.
Love it. Absolutely brilliant. It's the best Orange Cassidy hands in the pocket spot since a very early match in AEW history versus Pac, where he was doing the kicks to the shin and Pac just sparked him. I was like, yes, because that's what should happen. Just deck him.
Oh!
Can I ask you, how do you feel about whip to the ropes and the wrestler turns around, bounces off the ropes and comes back rather than just stopping?
That's just physics, Jay.
Oh, okay. All right. G Hunter special. Bite the face. Love it. OC is tossed and sells his neck hard. So Mox just high angle suplexes him again. And this neck injury will be the crux OC has to get the crowd behind them. In just general obvious mismatch where Mox is much higher on the card than him. John Moxley tosses him up, but it's turned into a stunner. A
Stundog millionaire.
Yeah. So later,
Shut up.
So later, it turns again to success. I was like, Mox must be so delighted to wrestle Orange Cassidy. He's a much, much smaller wrestler, so he can feel like the big, strong man tossing him off, And he throws Cassidy into the ring post. Gun show, yeah. Ooh, that's time to blade. Mox watch from first touch to OC blading is...
Oh, it's got to be 4 minutes.
Wow, 420. Mox...
4VD 420.
Hey. Mox makes sure the flow is strong, biting the wound. You big knacker.
I love it.
Ambrose is just pounding him down. Thud pile driver. More biting. Clubs to the side of the head. Excalibur with a great point. Getting bloodied. You have that adrenaline, that rush, but you better finish the bout before that adrenaline runs out. What do you get? A top rope back rake. Yeah. Bite Mox. Diamond DDT. Tilt-a-whirl DDT. Orange punch. Misses. But his free kick. An orange punch. 4-2.
Gotch! Style! Pile driver! Gonna get a new international champion, boys. 1, 2, and no, Cassidy! 2!
Cassidy won't go down. I love even after taking a bump, he'll move into position so he can surprise Mox with a crucifix fin. So he's like, bah. Yeah. It's pretty good. And I love how in general Mox is a babyface, but in this scenario, the bigger guy fighting the injured, scrappy fighter, Mox is a bully heel. Great. Yeah. Stuff like his short elbow bunting him feels so brutish. Like he just goes... Mox with a few submissions, $1 million dream and body scissors, a lapel lock even. Back body drop, beach break onto the unprotected floor and rocket kick his head into the steps.
Struck the floor and the drop.
Orange punch, spear. He's not putting Mox down. OC puts his hands in his pockets. Kick, and starts hoofing Mox.
I thought that spot was fucking great. It's gotten to the point now where it's not comedy anymore. It's fucking business time. And he just starts leathering Mox with his kicks. Brilliant.
And the receipt. Mox just drills him over and over with lariatos. Death Rider on his head. And that does it. Mox wins the international title.
Angle Death Rider! And Moxley! Whoa!
I really liked it. So this build was essentially a week.
Yeah, he had to win. It was Penta versus...
But it was all in really started when Orange Cassidy won the Stadium Stampede match. And him and Mox had a bit of back and forth, really good back and forth. But I thought they nailed this build, even though they had a few minutes. I think they did a good job because they actually had Orange Cassidy doing, a sit-down promo in the ring. He took a chair and he sat down and he was serious.
And it was shockingly good.
Yes, and he said this.
We've seen him live, like the scrum.
Yo,
he shit the bed.
Where was that?
Oh, in the scrum. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Really bad. Yeah.
And he said, this means the world to me. Everyone said I couldn't do it, and I have done it. And, the proper underdog stuff. And he is, of course, an underdog because he's going up against one of the biggest stars in the world. And then, of course, Mox being very confident he's going to beat Orange Cassidy, rightly so. He should be. But he's elevating Cassidy. He's bringing him along with him. It makes the belt look more important. Makes Cassidy look more important. So yeah, Mox, also wants revenge for All In where he lost the match. Yes, the blood was too early. Not every match needs blood. This match absolutely did. But it didn't need to be as soon as it was. Classic David and Goliath story. And absolutely the right winner. I was worried that they'd put Cassidy over here.
Yeah. So was I. Yeah. It was time.
It absolutely was time. And this is perfect. And Cassidy cutting that serious promo makes it really good now that he can build himself back up. And eventually, not anytime soon, but eventually.
Oh, on Dynamite, he's like, I'm OC, he's going to say OC. I'm OC and I've no belt, but I'll be here every week.
No. That's no good. I mean, give him a refresher. He's wrestling every fucking week or sometimes twice a week. But incredibly, after as much as I talk about how much I hate false finishes, I think there could have been a couple of more false finishes in this match. I did love the ending, but I think the match could have been also a little bit longer. But overall, really, really happy. And it's nice to see a belt on Mox again.
I'd agree with all of that, but I thought it was the perfect length. I was quite happy with it. It's a solid length and girth.
Loved the length.
Yeah, yes. What do you think?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Like in terms of moves, it wasn't the best match of the card, but it was the match that I liked the most by miles. Like I was into the build, I was into the characters. It's probably the match on the show where the outcome mattered the most. And once you feel that, well, then the battle is over. And I thought they went out there and they delivered. They elevated Orange Cassidy in a loss, which is something that you don't get very often. I think Mox is the right guy to hold the belt.
Got it as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they did it twice tonight, which is really fucking impressive. So yeah, fitting main event. It peaked the show. The fans were into it. Orange Cassidy is made for now, but obviously Tony has to have the right follow-up feud and angle for him, and it'll be interesting to watch over the next few months.
Yeah, no shame in this defeat. The odds were always overwhelmingly against Cassidy, but he put up a valiant fight, flummoxing and frustrating Mox by not staying down. BCC lads celebrate, including a bandaged Bryan Danielson with the headband and the dread. He looks like he's straight out of Miami Mega Prison. Yo, jailbird Bryan. He could definitely, we could go here. Combat Club leave, allowing Freshly Squeezed to get a commendation round of applause from the crowd. Very nice. And on the next show, OC comes out and succinctly says, I'm no longer champ, but I'll be here every week because I'm Orange Cassidy and I stole OC's catchphrase.
Very good, Jay. Thank you.
Cassidy fans, thank you for joining us tonight in Chicago. Thank you for joining us for All Out.
So yeah, before we get to the main event here, what did you think of All Out Chicago?
Yeah, a good to very good pay-per-view, but it should not have been a week after All In. I know it's kind of moot at this point, and it's going to happen every year. Which
it's a salient point.
Okay, thank you. It's silly, and then you end up, you're either building a wrestler to wrestle on one pay-per-view, one of the two pay-per-views, or you're building them to wrestle on two pay-per-views, and in some cases you're going to have multiple feuds, like Darby was feuding with both Swerve and Christian to build up to both matches. It's wrong and it's silly and it makes no sense. But in terms of wrestling, generally enjoyed most of the matches. Couple I wasn't into or didn't care about, but yeah, quality overall I thought was very good.
Yeah, like very enjoyable show, which is surprising, but it was exhausting as it's a pay-per-view 7 days after their biggest show of all time. Punk left and Danielson stepped up to give Ricky the best match of his career, a coming out party for him. OC was booked super strong and tough, huge interest for Joe and MJF. So that's 3 big things. The rest can kind of skip these. So yeah, really enjoyed it, but lads, I can't. 2 pay-per-views in 8 days.
He's going to do it next year again, and it's the wrong decision. It leads to months of disjointed television build, and it leads to one show being shortchanged. Because I thought that this was a better show than All In, and I'm a bit bitter about it, because All In was your biggest show of all time. That should have been the better show, and this shouldn't have been a show. If you had taken some matches off of both shows and combined them to be a supercard, you would have had a legendary night of pro professional wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, right before we finished editing this episode, there is a surprise ending to this saga, but let's talk it out. Please cast your minds back to just after All Out 2023, and let's break down this whole AEW situation. So it's time for your real main event with the real world's champion. Well. Wellity. Well.
Welly.
Wellity. I can't believe, we had to come back and record a second part of this because of the shit that went down, because we didn't initially have any plans to do All Out. Let's just get you up to speed of the CM Punk variety.
The best in the world is CM Punk. Big smile on his face. No doubt what a big week for you.
After Brawl Out, OSW 112, blasting the Elite in the scrum and then having their brawl afterwards, CM Punk and the Elite were all suspended, and Punk took extra time out to heal his left triceps and try to wangle out of his contract. He didn't. June 1st, Punk was announced to return to AEW and did on their new show, AEW Collision, June 17th. So he was given his own show on Saturdays and just avoid the Elite entirely, who'd stay on Dynamite on Wednesdays. CM Punk, his entire stint, second time round, lasted 10 matches, 7 Collision, 3 pay-per-views, Forbidden Door, Fyter Fest, All in London. What happened? A few weeks ago on Collision, Jack Perry wanted to use real glass in an angle. Punk, amongst others, didn't want real glass on Collision. See, as part of returning, Punk has creative influence on what happens on the show. During Jack Perry's pre-show match at All In, Perry took a shot at Punk, saying into the camera,
"You know what this is here? Real glass. Cry me a river."
Before being fisherman busted through a windshield and cutting boat wrestlers, a little him and Hook. So here's where reports differ a bit, and it kind of just depends on what side of you're going. Are you going to believe Punk? Are you going to believe Perry? Are you going to be in the middle? Okay, backstage at All In, right before Punk's match, Punk confronted Perry, got in his face asking if he had a problem, jaw-jacking, and Punk pie-faced him and get him in a face lock, threw some digs before they were pulled apart. Others say Perry confronted him, goading him to do something about it, and it was a choke, not a face lock, and Samoa Joe broke it up. In the heat of the moment, Punk threatened to quit AEW and not wrestle, but Joe convinced them to continue on and have their bout at the biggest show in AEW history. And they did, and it was a banger. This scuffle happened right before Punk's bout. There was actually a worry by the production crew if they'd have to reorder the matches. The Elite would have had to open the show, but Punk was fine to perform a few minutes later. Perry was asked to leave the arena. He's finished his match, and Punk did after his bout. See, Punk wanted Collision to be drama-free, but there inevitably would be due to who is and who isn't allowed backstage. Who isn't allowed backstage? Punk banned a few people like Ryan Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler's brother, Adam Page, Matt Hardy.
And rumoured Chris Daniels, you know, the head of talent relations, getting banned by talent.
Oh my God.
What's Christopher Daniels got to do with Punk?
Supposedly he was there
Brawl
at
Out?
Brawl Out. I think he was part of the crew that ran in to break up the fight, and Punk may have thought that he picked sides or something, you know?
It's worth noting, Perry took the Elite side over Punk's Brawl Out debacle. Like, he was with the Elite on that.
Well, of course he was.
The bad blood appears to initially stem from Perry believing Punk's camp put reports into the dirt sheets, trying to make him look bad. And the quip at All In was the receipt. And just coming out of it, more heat was on Perry for making this unscripted comment live on pay-per-view and knowing Punk would absolutely not let it slide. Just as a side note, there was a second incident about Punk and Miro, but no, there wasn't. That was just a bit of banter, not to be taken seriously. Because they're like, how about we take this outside? How about we take this in the ring? Sorry, just got Brian Alvarez there. And at the All-In Scrum, which we attended, Tony acknowledged there was an incident, that there'll be an investigation, and pending the results, had nothing more to say on it. So both wrestlers would be suspended indefinitely until the investigation concluded.
So a week later, the investigation was concluded. CM Punk was fired. But where's Jack Perry? Like, where's the notification on what's going on with him?
Like, he's still indefinitely suspended.
Okay.
They're just not firing him then. But what Punk did was a fireable offence because Tony Khan publicly addressed the situation off the top of Collision from Chicago.
You're being more kind than I had potentially expected, so thank you. It was a great welcome home for me.
I've been going to wrestling shows for 30 years. I've been producing them on this network for 4 years. Never before in all that time have I felt like my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show until last Sunday.
His life was in danger.
His life was in danger. CM Punk, who couldn't tap out that soup can in that shitty...
Mike Jackson.
That's the one. That's a bit hyperbolic, mate. Your life was in danger. It
was.
Like, if you walk down a corridor and someone comes out and goes, boo! Did you? Oh my God, I almost died. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it sounds like Punk lunged at him, and then he obviously didn't get to him, but he was just afraid for a second. Do you know what I mean?
Why would Punk lunge at Tony Khan?
I think he was at the Gorilla station and trying to add a bit of Jack Tunney break it up, you know?
I still don't understand why Punk would have any physical altercation with Tony Khan. I can't imagine it.
I think he was done and he wanted out, and he saw that as the best way of getting out.
It's definitely the quickest way.
Yeah.
Go lunge at the boss.
It's like, you know, if he wanted to be paid his contract, it was the worst thing he could have done. But I think Punk is wealthy enough that he could forego whatever remaining millions, you know, he was due to be paid, and just like, right, I'm fucking done. I'm done.
We gave you your own show, so you didn't have to deal with the consequences of your actions. What more do you want?
But he did things that made things worse. He was given his own show to keep him happy, but to keep him happy, it meant making other people more angry. The issue is that the issue was never dealt with in the first place. There was like a vow of silence put on the entire roster, and things festered and bubbled and turned sour, and it was all going to burst at some point. It was only a matter of time.
A vow of silence, eh? That's interesting. Tell me about it. Sorry. Obviously, Carney Jericho has to make Punk's thing about him. So post-Brawl Out, Jericho described Punk as a cancer to the locker room. And then in March, Punk would do his Instagram bitching, you know, it's going to be on there for an hour. And he called Meltzer a liar and Jericho a liar and a stooge. August at All In, it was much more jovial. He asked if Punk was going to do a top rope Frankensteiner because he was. He said no. Then he's like, hey, I'm going to do a GTS. And he was like, ah. And And that was it. And Jericho is now, because this is about me,
Do you think there was any part of Tony's actions were related to what I think was a bit of a disappointment, Punk's return? I don't feel like he had that same star power as when he left. I know he got crowd reactions, both positive and negative, but I don't feel like they were loud enough. I don't know, maybe... I think he was still selling the most merch, but...
Yeah, and he was part of the reason for Collision. It was kind of based on his star power as well.
Absolutely, but maybe the numbers on Collision weren't what Tony was hoping for. And he said, well, he's now expendable. Whereas previously he brought him back thinking he's not expendable. He's so important to this company, I'm giving him his own show. Shit, he's not the same.
No, I don't think
No?
so. I think it's just, I really don't want to fire you because you're the golden goose, but I've no other choice now. I reckon that was the hard decision, was actually cutting him free, So very proud of Tony, because he was going to give you the best ratings and the most money and that. And he's like, I can't be dealing with this. It's just, you have to go. It was weird that it's about Jack Perry as well, because
weird.
September 15th, 2021, Dynamite, Punk is on commentary and he says, let's be honest, Jungle Boy doesn't rub anyone the wrong way. You got a problem with Jungle Boy? Chances are you're the problem.
Ooh. This man has no introspection at all. Zero. Do you think there's something to maybe the other roster members poked the bear knowing that he was going to blow up?
Yeah. Jack Perry.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah. Because
it's a muffin rigged to explode.
After Brawl Out last year, and when the Bucks came back and they had a match, they were mocking Punk. They were doing the buckshot lariat and falling and things like that. It's that petulance doesn't help either, and they definitely have to shoulder some of the blame for keeping the fire going as well,
There's no good on both sides. There's both wrong on both sides.
No one should be painting this as this side is good and this side is dicks. They're all dickheads. I just think Punk is a bigger dickhead. Punk became a violent dickhead. That's not something that you can have in any workforce at all. There should be zero tolerance on that shit.
Yeah. There's two things about the Bucks. One of them is that there's a rumor going on that they were going to have a backstage meeting with Punk at All In, but they cancelled it, and then Punk was fuming about that. The other thing is that the Collision, after that show finished, the Bucks did a victory lap around the ring, and I was like, oh, that's arseholes.
They're definitely clowns.
Yeah.
It came out that the book said that they would be willing to have a sit-down meeting with Punk, but only if he was without incident for 6 months. And it's
oh my God.
And the counter just kept on being reset back to zero every fucking week because he couldn't shut up. He came out on the first week and he made that remark about the counterfeit books. And then he did the post-show promo on Collision a few weeks ago where he buried Paige Hanger, saying that he was talking about that you could go to Toys R Us and you could buy his action figure because no one buys them. And I was like, how is anyone ever meant to move on and heal if he can't go a week without keeping his fucking mouth shut? Because he's so self-righteous,
Which is a great wrestling heel. But
yes.
Terrible to work with.
Yeah.
But it's a shame because he's so talented.
Phenomenal. He's so good.
Yeah. Incredible character.
Yeah.
One Bill Phil. That's because I am the one true, genuine article in a business full of counterfeit bucks. Earlier today, I went to a local supermarket and I figured out why they call him Hangman. It's because the pegs in the toy aisle are full of Hangman action figures because nobody wants to buy them.
What can you do? Where can Punk go from here? You've been ousted twice now. And I was like, okay, can he go to WWE? Triple H hates him. And Seth, when he had the interview with WWE 22, hey, what do you think of CM Punk? And he's like, stay away, you cancer.
Would you like to see Phil Brooks back in WWE?
Oh, Philly Phil, stay away. Stay away, you cancer. Get away from me forever.
Wow.
So AEW, that's off the books. He's gone. He's fired. ROH, owned by AEW. Maybe New Japan?
I don't think he's capable of working to the level expected.
He'll go to WWE.
I think he's going to go to WWE. I think they'll take him back.
I'd love him to go to New Japan because, like, at some point they'll have Forbidden Door next year. You know, it's like, oh, come on.
Holy shit.
No, he'll go to WWE for a year. He'll probably do 4 matches. And he'll probably make them a lot of money.
Yeah, they'll make money, he'll make money, he'll burn out in a year, and then it'll end.
Do you think there's ever a chance we'll see you back in a squared circle?
No.
Never?
No.
Wow.
Never, ever. Never, ever, ever.
Right,
They're gonna go crazy about
They
that
really
on
are.
Twitter.
Can I give you some other ideas? So just where else can Punk go from here? You couldn't bother with the Indies or Impact. It's not a big enough stage. Could be a pundit for Fox. You know, kind of wrestling show, you know. Obviously not WWE backstage. Because, like, you know, Miz would come out. It's like, guess I didn't change the channel. And then Punk is like, go suck a blood-covered dick in Saudi Arabia. It's like, all right, maybe not Fox. He could do a tell-all. I don't think he can go on Colt's podcast
So
anymore.
which podcast is going to host this guy?
I'll have him.
If you could risk...
If he pays for the legal fees.
Yeah, $1.5 million. No. Oh, man, I'd love him to... Well, if he goes away, if he could write an autobiography. Yeah. I think that...
Which I would love to read.
Oh, I will absolutely read that. You good to Leslie.
Okay, one more out of left field. Form a new wrestling company with Hulk Hogan, Nasty Boy Knobs, and Ed Leslie. And Austin Starr. What's his real name?
Oh, Austin Aries?
Austin Aries, yeah. He's available, yeah.
Very available.
Listen, new control your narrative, but have Punk and...
Oh, you know what? I think you're onto something here.
If get him to put a bit of seed money in it as well. But any other thoughts on Punk?
It's a shame. It's a crying shame. He was there to bring AEW to the next level, which I think he did. And it's all gone to shit. But I can tell you now, Ricky Starks is on Collision. Otherwise, not interested.
So that's it. Will he be back? Is there a way he can wangle his way back into AEW?
No, but
a fourth weekly show. What day we have free, lads?
Oh, Jesus.
What, Mondays? You can do Mondays, Tuesdays?
Tuesday. It would have to be Tuesday, wouldn't it?
He'll be at the Royal Rumble.
Wow, it's crazy. It's a 2-year span, like starting at the best pay-per-view AEW's ever produced with All Out.
Yeah.
And 2021, and there you go. Unbelievable.
And like when he signed, there was a spike of business, and you could absolutely see it in terms of ratings and pay-per-view buys. And it's like, that's gone, but it's not worth it.
Inspired another generation.
And after all that, what did CM Punk choose? The answer is CM Punk returned to WWE at the 2023 Survivor Series. A wonderful shock surprise in his hometown. WWE don't need him. They're doing incredible without him. But hey, chance to scoop a huge name, an infamous name, and to shoot something big for Mania. Yes, Triple H, this is indeed a mighty cold day in hell. Can't believe it. Like, Punk, he was served legal papers on his wedding day. Water under the bridge. CM Punk back in WWE. Well, until the next breakup. We don't get closure in AEW, but Punk has officially moved on. His exploding 2-year stint in AEW has been put to rest, and this chapter is finally closed. Another one begins, and wrestling fans get to enjoy Punk a little longer.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22, and everything will be alright if you keep me next to you.
And that closes the chapter on AEW and CM Punk and OSW. Coming up to 5 hours of coverage for it. OC did the trip home, did that consolidate on done with like wrestling events?
I was done before I...
Oh, really?
Yeah, before I left like, when I was walking out, and I think the first person who did the LA Knight thing was like, thank you, you've confirmed it, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I had a good feeling I was done, and then I was like, oh, I almost shook his hand and said, well, at least I'm done and dusted.
So would you do it all again?
No.
You walked in the door, put down your bags, you know. Start trashing. You mother.
Tommy was sewing everything.
Slowly pulling out drawers. So, if you want to watch over 120 episodes, you can on our YouTube channel, which is... I never asked our YouTube channel.
Yeah, youtube.com/OSW Review HD.
Yes, and youtube.com/@OSW.
Ah.
It's a bit shorter. If you want to keep this gravy train going, watch some early editions of episodes that are going to come out and some other exclusives that we've got. You can drop us a couple of bucks and watch these videos at
noggeru.oswreview.com.
Kablamo! So it's a goodbye from V1.
Take a boo.
OSC. And the 2.5-time Golden Nogger Award winner, Jay Hunter. And remember, a winner is you.
It's over! It's not over. Everybody betrayed me. I fed up with this world.